do all that kind of stuff.
What is that? I don't know.
It's on camera. Amber's saving my life. What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty. Today, I have another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. I've got Dan and Amber Springer here with me with Wildwood Adventure Park here in the heart of the Flint Hills. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course. So let's just kind of get into it. The Wildwood Adventure Park, talk to me a little bit about how this came about, right? When did it start? And what did all that become, and why did you decide to zip line for the rest of your life?
This is my parents' property, and they got it maybe 15, 20 years ago. I'm not really sure the date, but anyways, we grew up right here. They had their house butts into this. It's on 80 acres. And when it came up for sale, they were able to acquire it. And it used to be a rock quarry, so it's kind of has some cool history on the property. It got overgrown over time, so nobody had done anything with it since probably the 40s or so. They quit with the rock quarries, and then they were going to build houses up here, and that kind of fell through in the 70s, and so they ended up with the property not really knowing what they were going to do with it, but we kind of grew up here and had fallen in love with it over the years, and it's a pretty unique piece of ground right outside of town. A lot of trees, so they were just kicking around ideas, trying to think outside of the box at the time. They didn't really want to develop it with a bunch of housing, just because it is such a kind of a neat piece of ground, and it does have some history. A lot of the limestone came out of here to build K-State campus, the older buildings, and some of the older buildings in downtown on Points. So they were just thinking outside the box, and it took several years, and for a while we were just building trails and exploring it, cleaning it up a little bit, and anyways, we all took a family trip to Nashville, and my sister at the time was living out there, and went ziplining. So it was my kids, myself, and then my parents, so 3 generations of us, and it was something that we could all do together. And it was outside, it was being active, and that's kind of our style, I guess. We like to get out and do stuff like that. So that sparked the idea, and then we just did some research from there. I think underestimated what it was actually going to take. We thought, oh, this seems pretty easy. We could try this, and it turned into be a little more involved, when you get engineers and different things like that. But that's basically where it started, and we just went with it from there, and then here we are 9 years later. So yeah.
Well, and that actually brings up a great point, right? So what has been some of the most challenging things of creating the zip line on this 80 acres?
I guess the most challenging part was probably just the terrain itself and the weather at the time.
Winter.
So we tried to get it done during the winter so we could be open in the spring, and just getting the equipment up some of these hills. Like I said, it hadn't been touched in a long time, so it's just a dense forest, I guess you could say, or and so getting the equipment up there, getting the working with the engineers, finding out our different elevations that we have, how much slope you put on the line depends on how long the line is, and different things like that. So just getting all that stuff figured out, and getting the cables up through the trees and the anchors through all the rock, and getting everything tested and inspected, and all that stuff was quite a feat at the time.
Yeah, I imagine, like, setting your points and setting all that stuff up, I imagine that's got to be quite a intensive thing for any engineer to kind of come in. And are they checking every point and checking every line and every single year? Are they doing that annually?
Yes, we do have annual inspections that we do every year, and they check they torque every bolt now.
Nice.
check the cables for wear, check the platforms and things like that. Yeah, all the equipment, all that stuff has timelines on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing to keep up with as well.
Okay, so we've talked, obviously, just talking about what it means to get outdoors and what all that kind of stuff is. And I know that's kind of your guys' mission, your goal with Wildwood is to kind of get people out and about. So talk to me a little bit about what your mission and what your goal is with Wildwood Adventure.
So I would say definitely the main reason we opened was to just get families and friends outside and active. Like getting outside in nature, that's something not a lot of people do as much these days. I feel like just to have 80 acres of wooded terrain that you get to hike through and zip through is something very unique for most people to be able to do. So that would be our main thing, just getting people outside active and a little bit out of their comfort zone. And I'll let Dan talk about the comfort zone.
Okay. I think it is important. A lot of people spend most of their time kind of in a safety bubble.
Yep.
And so to be able to safely get out of that comfort zone and experience something new that maybe you thought you couldn't do and then you're able to overcome it, I think that's been one of the added perks to the job that I've really enjoyed and has kind of become part of our mission statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it is you get to do it right here at home, right?
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the Flint Hills.
Yeah,
So.
couldn't do it in a better place. So.
Yeah, no, and I think what you guys have is, and I know that you get in videos and stuff too, but the trails and what we're seeing around here is everything kind of is untouched, right? Like I think even the drive up here, you don't feel like you're in the middle of Manhattan. Right? Like even drive up here, you're taking up this windy road and there's tree cover everywhere. I think that's kind of the most amazing part of what it is right here in the middle of Manhattan. So I think that's awesome what you're doing here.
Hope to be able to preserve it like that for as long as we can. So
Yeah. So I know that you guys have the zip lines, the drop and the runs and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about what Wildwood actually offers to its patrons and to everyone that comes here and what the park can actually do for them.
Sure. Well, our main thing is the zip lines. We have 7 zip lines. They range from 100 feet long. That's going to be line 1. It's kind of a build your confidence as you go. And then as you go through the course, the lines are going to get a little longer, a little taller, a little faster. Try to push you out of that comfort zone a little more as you go. There's 7 of them all together. We have 2 double lines where you can race each other.
Yeah.
So those are a lot of fun. And then at the end, there's you'll land in a 40-foot platform, and there's a 40-foot free fall there where you hook into basically an auto belay device. It has a little bungee and some slack in it, and you just step off the edge, or you can fall backwards, and it basically slowly lowers you down, and you kind of land back here at base camp where we started. It kind of makes a circle through the property. It takes about 2 hours to do a zip line tour. There'll be 2 guides that go out with you. They're going to hook you in, they're going to break you, get you unhooked, do all that safely. So we also have a 2-mile trail run through the woods with about 25 obstacles that are range from monkey bars, mud pits. It's a little bit similar to maybe a Tough Mudder type of thing, but a little more family friendly, but still getting people, kids outside in the woods and spending some time. So sometimes we do have some events with that. Sometimes we'll do just offices will come out and do some team building. We work with Fort Riley, K-State. That's kind of the two main things that we're doing out here. And like I said, we do have a couple events. One in the spring is just for kids 14 and under, and then we have one coming up here in the fall, and I'll let Amber talk about that.
On September 29th at 2 p.m. we have our 2-mile family fun run. So basically same kind of thing, get outside with your family, run through the woods, get muddy, and every year we raise money and food for the Flint Hills Bread Basket. Going into fall is like a time where they're needing a lot more food with all the holidays coming up. So part of registration is to bring a monetary donation and or a non-perishable food item. So that registration is live for that right now. And then like you said, the April one's the same kind of thing, but it's for kids 5 to 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's awesome. And so I guess that kind of leads into my next question with your guys' community impact and what you guys kind of do here. I know you do Flint Hills Breadbasket and kind of give back a little bit to the community. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like? And
yeah, I think part of the reason why we love having a business in Manhattan, Kansas is because of the community. It's kind of just the perfect location between like I-70, Fort Riley, K-State. There's always families coming in and out of town. There's always people coming to do something and looking for activities. So yeah, we partner with the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce. If you're a business and not a partner with them, they are like the best. They help us with everything. They're constantly promoting, because if your business is bringing people to Manhattan, that's boosting the economy in Manhattan. So they are going to do anything they can to help you out in the long run. So that's a partnership we value very much. We also do like little things like with USD 383 Library. Every summer we do a book it program. So each kid in the elementary school and middle school that reads the most for the summer gets a free zipline pass. So we've been having them come out, and it's been fun hearing about their favorite books for the summer and all that stuff. So those are probably three of our ones that we really wouldn't imagine not being partners with those guys.
yeah. No, that's awesome. So zipping and reading, I like it.
Yeah.
With everything that you guys have here, right? You've talked about it on camera quite a bit, where you're pushing people out of the comfort zone and just kind of making sure you're kind of doing that, getting them outside, which a lot of people don't necessarily do. This has got to be a crazy rewarding business and thing there. So I want you guys to talk about a little bit about what's your most rewarding moment and what that looks like, and then we'll go to the opposite side and what your biggest challenge is with this business.
All right. Yeah, so I would say the most rewarding part for me has been just the people that come out here, and probably even starting with our guides. So the people, we train them to guide the people through the tours safely, and they kind of become part of our family almost. So we kind of watch them grow through the years. A lot of them are college students, so they'll be here with us for 3 or 4 years at a time.
Sure.
So those relationships seem to have stayed with us through the years. So that's been real rewarding for me, as well as the customers coming out who, like you said, are getting out of their comfort zone, and just to see their reactions and the joy they can get out of it, or the self-accomplishments that they can achieve, that's probably been the best for me. So
Yeah. What about you?
And
Yeah, I would say definitely the people. When you start the zip line, you're not really thinking. You're thinking like, all right, we got to get this so we can get people in and out so that you succeed as a business. But then when you start seeing the people, like we have had people come out 7. I have one guy that I mark a tally on a shirt. I think he's up to 12. So you start to build relationships, and then they'll come out, and I'll be like, "Oh, you're back again," and they'll be like, "You remember me?" or stuff like that. So that part has been kind of blows you away a little bit, that somebody is going to support your dream. So that part has been very rewarding as well. And then yeah, challenge-wise. Just weather is a big one. Obviously, we're an outdoor business. So if it's too high of wind, we have to shut down. If it's lightning, we have to shut down. If there's snow on the platforms, we have to shut down. Or if it's just really hot, like this heat wave coming up, we're not doing afternoon zips. So things like that. So the most challenging is just weather, being weather dependent. I mean, you can't, whether you have a full day or not, you can't do anything about the weather.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good deal. Yeah. Good deal. All right. So before we kind of wrap it all up here, one question I always like to ask is what advice would you give to anybody watching this video, whether it be entrepreneurs, whether it be young people looking to get outside, whatever that looks like, what advice would you give them to starting their own business?
Yeah. I would say, so it's obviously not for everybody. The best thing I could explain it would be like a child. It's going to take all your time, all your energy. You're going to stress about it 24/7. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for like the risk for reward, the reward at the end for some people will just be way more than you could ever imagine. So if you're at a point where you're thinking about it, it can never hurt to try. If you want to, and use your local resources. Like there's so many people in the community that can help with things like this. So I would say just have faith in yourself, do the best you can, and whether it works or not, as long as you say you gave it 100%, that's all you can do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You add anything to that?
I think that's good.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So how do we get a hold of you? How does someone watching this video book a tour and go through that side, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. We do require reservations just because we only take out up to 10 people in a group. We have to have 2 guides scheduled to take you out. So you can book online at mhkadventures.com or give us a call at 785-477-9543. And that's how you book online. Our website is mhkadventures.com. We have Instagram and Facebook. If you're curious about how do you zip line in Kansas, it's flat. You can definitely go to Instagram, and we're right in the Flint Hills, plenty of terrain and things like that. So that is how you do it. Just make sure you have to be at least 5 and weigh between 50 and 275 pounds to zip line.
Okay.
And yep, just make that reservation and we'll be here.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. So thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you know somebody, or if you have somebody that is interested in ziplining in Kansas in the middle of the Flint Hills, it's not just flat, please get a hold of these guys. They are wonderful. I've had the pleasure of meeting with them, honestly, now for probably an hour and a half now. So, and it's been a really joy to be out here and just kind of looking at what they have here with the park and with everything that they have. So please, please, please share this video with somebody to get them out here. I got a fly following me around here. To get them out here to take a look at this park and look at what they have here, because you guys will not be disappointed in what they have. So again, thank you so much for watching the videos. If you enjoy this content, please go and hit the subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content, and give us that like, because it does help us grow the channel. Until next time, thank you for watching Local Legends of the Flint Hills. See you then. Thanks, guys.